Wrestle Nation! What's up?
Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
What to do? What to do? Guys, welcome back to another episode of the RSL Bros. We're pretty excited to be here, and we apologize for being a day late. That was my fault, so I'll take. We had to add another member of the family.
Wait.
What'd you get?
Got a car, all
Oh,
right? Got
I
a
was like,
car.
do I
What'd you
do I have
get?
another nephew?
No, in fact, we don't know the gender of this car yet, so we
Oh.
haven't named it. But it is a nice red car, just so you guys know.
Ooh.
It's a nice red, like RSL red.
Oh,
So,
so
ooh.
Claret.
It is Claret.
It's
That's the name.
claret. There we go.
It's the name of your
That's the
car.
name of the car. Great. So we got claret, and I'll show you guys pictures afterwards. But it's a really nice car, and we're really enjoying it.
Well,
So
congratulations, congratulations. I
thank you.
guess since we're congratulating everybody with awards to start off, we won an award as a podcast. We are
What?
the we are the best ball education content. So congratulations, guys.
Now I don't know what all that entails, but pretty sure we educate some people. I don't know, but we appreciate the award we accept. We like to thank everyone.
So this is that's our speech. So thank you for
That's a horrible speech. I bet Christian could come up with a better speech, but
No, I mean we honestly we appreciate we just like talking
yeah.
and um I I think our experience is clear when it comes to what we're talking about. Obviously we have biases, obviously we have opinions,
Oh yeah,
but we relatively know what we're talking about in a
relatively.
pro RSL bias fashion. Oh wait, let me rephrase that. A pro RSL, pro Argentina, River Plate, USA,
a, li- a,
Manchester, choose your side.
a little menu, only a little menu.
I said Manchester, choose your side. I'm compromising, Marcos. Don't push it. Um,
No, it's true. We
We
try to
genuinely
give the best opinions possible
we appreciate educating you guys all. So thank you for the award.
from the MLS creators, content creators, whatever. What's that page
Yes,
name? Yes. Okay,
yes.
guys, we have I mean, we have a lot on the agenda. That's gonna be the phrase every single time. Um, there's a lot to go over because a lot of things happened this past week. Um, Full disclosure, I'm just gonna throw it out there. We're gonna be talking minimally, almost nothing about Chicho, just so you guys know. If we see all of a sudden you guys fall off on our stats, we know why you guys were here. um, but we are gonna talk.
If you want all Chicho, please head to the San Jose page.
That, that's actually true. Um, but we are going to talk about the newest players that came in. Not gonna lie, there is some buzz about these guys. Um, bzz. So there's some buzz about these guys. We're gonna talk about where they fit, how we think they're gonna fit within the team. We're gonna go over. I bet most of you who are on social media, especially on Twitter, have seen a couple of videos regarding coaching interviews, manager interviews, player interviews. We're gonna go over some of the things that we heard, the feelings that are going on around preseason. Actually, Marcos, you're gonna talk about a little bit about what you saw on Monday. That's right, I remembered. No worries. Um, we're actually gonna talk a little bit also about U.S. national team because their game is Saturday.
We got a big one on Saturday.
USA, USA,
I
USA.
believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
As I do that Argentina hand gesture.
um, and then last but not least, we did not forget about your Instagram questions. We're gonna
I made sure I wrote down all you guys' questions, so we will try to get to.
We've got good ones again too.
We have very good ones, so I'm excited to dive deep into every single one of these questions with you guys.
and not gonna lie, there are a lot. So if we don't get to your questions, please don't be offended because there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of picking and choosing. So without further ado, let's get into who RSL has picked up within the past week. We had Black Friday. In terms of black, it was just everyone and their dogs. It felt like was up in arms. Everyone was leaving, but there's incoming. So let's Christian, give us those players that have come in within the past week or so.
Oh man, it's actually been kind of hard to keep track because not one site is reporting them all. So we signed Kobe Henry on loan from Reims, which is a Ligue 1 team. We
Hmm.
also, and I think he's a good pickup. Also, Mason Staduhar, backup goalkeeper from Orlando, which we'll see. We'll see. And then we've got a couple of rumors in the pipeline as well, including another goalkeeper from uh, Brazil Serie A, which is the goalkeeper for Grêmio. I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Is
Rafael Cabral.
That guy.
you're saying it wrong. It's Rafael.
Oh,
It is.
excuse me.
It is
Excuse me.
Rafael.
Excuse my non-Portuguese.
Exactly.
It's just like Diogo Gonçalves is Diogo Gonçalves.
Yep. It
Correct.
is. It's
Correct.
true. So
It's Diogo.
so besides
We're,
the
we're missing.
Gremio,
Oh, we're missing one last one.
yes. Well, who is it?
Arieth Pule,
Yeah, Arif Peel from Australia.
who's currently.
Oh, the striker. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. So let's talk about each one because I want to talk about this the first one that you mentioned, Christian. I want to talk about
Kobe Henry.
Kobe Henry, because everyone was buzzing about Kobe. I personally have never seen him play, never heard him play in the USL. For those that follow the USL really closely, apparently he was the one of the top center backs, top defenders in the league for a year or two.
Yeah, he was with Orange County in the USL for a little bit, and then went over to Reims. Didn't get much playing time with Reims, and then now he's with us, but just on loan for one season.
With the
So
option to buy.
So it's
We
a
do
whole
have the
year.
option to buy.
yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. So how does this, we're going to just break this down one by one. So how does this fit with the current defenders that we have now? Because if Kobe is a pure center back,
Hmm.
we also got Sam Junkwa. Who else did we get? We got another defender, didn't we?
I don't think so.
No? Okay,
Uh-uh.
Just been those two.
just those two. Perfect. So then um, Sam Junkwa is a left back center back. Kobe is a center back. So now plus if you put PQ on the list, we have five center backs that could play center. Actually, if you want to add Javane Brown too, let's add six.
Guess what we have? Starts with a D.
Defense.
We have defense.
No.
We got the D.
We have we have depth
we
Depth.
have, we
on the
Oh,
have
back
depth.
line.
that's what you meant.
That's what I meant, Marcos. That's the second time
That's
in
too.
one podcast.
Oh my
This is
god.
this is this is family friendly, right?
Oh my gosh. Um,
I
but
don't
you're
think you're
right.
family friendly.
Yeah, you're right, Christian. On the depth part, and also family friendly. But that is depth right there. That what we were lacking last year. Whenever Vera got suspended, when Glad got injured, we didn't have anyone. We were scrambling, and now we have surplus.
No, that makes me very happy to see that Kurt and Jason are going after defense. Like, yes, we have a little too many center backs, but you can never have too many because we saw times last season where Vera was getting suspended, where we would be missing Justin or Vera. They wouldn't be together for games. But this makes me very happy because Kobe. Well, I'll mention in the second one for training, but is fast. He's versatile. He can jump up and get those headers.
Hmm. That makes me very interested in to see who's going to be starting.
Yeah,
To be
yeah,
quite honest.
absolutely.
Um, so defense is pretty solid at this point, and that's it's needed, and it's definitely welcome. And let's move back a little bit further. Let's go to the goalkeepers now. We got the backup goalkeeper from Orlando. Um, as a quick maybe a sneak preview into what was talked about in the press conferences, it sounds like Zach McMath is going to be injured and out for a good chunk of the first half of the season.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. And Mason Sajuar,
Sure.
Sure. It looks like he got injured with Orlando back early this summer, I believe June or July. So he's just barely coming off that injury as well. But this deal, it's in exchange for $50,000 in a 2025 general allocation money and RSL's natural second round 2026 MLS Super Draft pick.
All right, so this is a true backup goalkeeper price.
Hmm.
Um, which if they're mentioning that Zach is injured, and he's going to be out for a couple of months at the beginning of the season, um, it almost makes me want to think that if Mason has had first team experience with Orlando, it makes it sound like he's going to be fighting for the number one spot. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Um, well, before this ad popped up in front of all of his stats here, he, the, I can, this is nothing personal against him, but based off of his stats alone, he's gotten a clean sheet about 10% of the games that he's played in goal,
Eek.
which is not fantastic for a keeper. But at the same time, I don't think he's reached 100 games played in his career. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of lack of experience there. That's a little worrisome on the field, and especially you get into an environment. You switch from a hot, humid environment in Orlando, and you come to a dry, high, colder environment, and more versatile weather environment in Salt Lake City. Plus, with the crowd and everything, it's a completely different ambiance here.
Right. Right. And and the
And
and I guess the crap part is you mentioned the clean sheets real quick. Gavin Beavers had three clean sheets last season,
Yeah.
and,
And
and
and I think Mason had maybe
other,
one.
I think that's what
let's
Christian said,
see, last season.
or somewhere around there.
It doesn't break it down by season. Let me see. Ah, here we go. Filter by season. Wait for it.
Give me your
He
numbers.
played five, um,
Hmm.
5 games last season,
With one clean
and
sheet.
with one clean sheet. He played 479 minutes.
Yeah. But then again, go now switching goalkeepers to the Brazilian, Rafael. Um, he's an older one. So Mason is a 27-year-old. Rafael is 34. I know, Christian. You're getting there. He's an older one, just like you.
I don't
Um,
know. With obviously this hasn't been announced officially of Rafael. A lot of RSL fans were upset because they're seeing a 34-year-old keeper, same age as McMath. They're like, why would RSL do that? Get rid of a young goalkeeper in Beavers, bring somebody that's towards the end of their career. But I look at this, he brings experience. He's played in Europe, he's played in Brazil. If I'm not mistaken, he was on the same squad as Neymar in Brazil, correct?
at the beginning of his career, him
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
Neymar started their careers at basically at the same time.
yeah. So if I had to if I had to choose between
Oh, you're hearing it first. Neymar's coming to Real Salt Lake.
no, but if I have to choose between Mason or Rafael, I would want Rafael just with that experience in the back of the
Yeah,
goal.
I guess that leads on to a question. Do you prefer your keepers older or younger?
that's tough. That is really tough because that's one position where experience trumps all, but age catches up real quick to keepers at times, even though they tend to have long careers. Um,
I
Like
mean,
obviously, when we had Beavers and McMath, like Beavers would do great things that McMath couldn't do. So
mhm.
it's a double-edged sword. But in this scenario, I prefer Rafael just with that European, with that Brazilian experience, whereas Mason barely 50 games that he's played under his belt.
might I remind all RSL fans that Nick Raimondo was 40 years old when he retired from RSL.
Yeah,
True.
so Father Time is nowhere. It's not catching up.
Yeah, now it all depends on the skill level of the goalkeeper, but um, it's true that Rafael comes with a lot of experience, but the past year or two, if I saw his stats, his game time has gone down significantly as well. So, um, funny thing, I don't know if any of you saw this on RSL Till I Die Facebook group, but someone put out a sneak peek of what RSL's formation is going to look like, and
Hmm. I did not see that.
we have four attacking up top, so just the typical one and three. All right, and then we have seven goalkeepers.
Wow. Wow.
Why do I say that? Because someone had mentioned or someone posted that at the practice on Monday there were seven goalkeepers practicing.
I will, yes. I did see seven goalkeepers training on Monday, and I was very confused myself. I'm like, wait, what? And none of those were
Oh,
McMath.
that is
McMath was
hilarious.
not there.
Did you just see it?
Yeah, that's
You
that
see,
is a ray of sunshine.
Uh,
it's great. I love that formation, but it goes goes to the fact that end of last season or mid last season, all the fan base were begging for defenders, begging for goalkeepers, and now we have surplus. So now everyone is begging for a Chicho replacement. There's a Chicho mention.
But it's true we do need a we not necessarily a Chicho replacement, but we need a nine. We need a striker, someone who can finish chances, finish goals.
and who's that?
Uh,
Ariath.
Ariath Peel. Now,
For those fans who have not seen any highlights or videos of him, he brings speed. He brings the speed of Anderson Julio, and I want to say the
Anderson Julio's fast.
he was
he was
decently fast.
he was decent.
I would say Gomez speed.
You want to say Gomez speed? Very similar then in Gomez.
Gomez speed without the draft run of Gomez.
Exactly.
He ran funny, but actually, I think Peel, looking at his highlights, plays almost exactly like Gomez. He doesn't play a point striker. He's not a nine, but he's more like a wing. And so it almost looked like I can't remember what formation they played, but if they were playing a 4-3-3, he'd be the one of the wing forwards.
So that still doesn't solve the if he were to play that same role, that still doesn't solve our
Right. So I'm almost thinking
center
that
striker issue.
he's a replacement for a winger. So maybe he's behind a Diego Luna instead of Wolf.
That would make sense.
I mean, that it's a good possibility right there because I don't see Wolf getting many minutes if we're bringing in people that are higher caliber in terms of offensive
And
output.
this does come to mind if we've got him and also Lachlan Brook, both who have experience playing in the Australian League. They're
That's
going to
true.
be familiar with that play style
Hmm.
together, and they're going to be able to see each other out. So do you think that they're looking for production where Lachlan Brook is going to cross?
I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, the fact that it looks like now we're going into Australia to find talent, and and
Hey,
we're going down under.
there's some there's some great players that have played in MLS from Australia. Tim Cahill,
Tim
he
Cahill,
was a monster. He's one of those that's gone down in MLS history. Didn't win the MLS Cup when it probably should have,
he did it. Oh,
along with along with Thierry Henry
hmm And
and Didier Drogba.
that was a good New York team, by the way.
That's a fantastic New York team.
Yeah. But I think that these talents are a good fit with the philosophy that that Kurt was mentioning yesterday. He said that he says we win through development, and we can see that we've been consistently mid-table above
And
for a long time.
and we're still developing. Like Ariath is a very young, talented player. If I'm not mistaken, he's 20, 21 years old, so still at the very peak of beginning of his career. This season alone, he's at 3 goals, 1 assist.
Hmm.
So for someone that's off the bench, that's decent. So I don't see him as a starter for us. He's going to be an off the bench kind of player, same as Julio. But I guess that gets in the discussion for the strikers that we have right now. Who would start in that? I guess in that order, we have Elias, we have
For
Arya, and then
Forrester,
and then Foster.
yeah, Forster, not
Oh,
Foster.
For
Forrester,
sure.
There's an R in there. I had to look it up when you told me the first time. I was like, nah, there's got to be an
So
R.
I guess out of those three, what would be your order?
So I guess maybe to maybe give a little context, um, RSL put out a little video of preseason practice on that Monday, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Correct.
And supposedly there was only one goal scored in that scrimmage, and
It was
it was by
Forrester.
Forrester, and
Hmm.
it was like some kind of like side volley
Yep.
something.
Hmm.
So my thing is, I think Forrester might get the start up top at least at the beginning of the season. He had good minutes and I think good stats with Nashville if my memory doesn't fail me. So I think Forrester comes in and then Elias comes off the bench. And I think Pio, like I just mentioned, comes in for a winger, not a nine.
I would need to see some more from Elias. I haven't really to determine between Forster and Elias, but yeah, just from going to that one training alone, I was very impressed with Forster. Like you mentioned, he only goal scored, but he is a fast athletic striker.
Yeah. And I guess let's segue into what you saw on Monday then, because Monday was the first day of preseason, so that means everyone was checking in.
Yep,
We know that everyone else, all the other media started coming in the other days and are doing the interviews. But what
correct.
did you see the first day? Everyone there. What was the atmosphere, the feeling like at the practice facility?
So there was a few players that were not there that were not Javane Brown, he was out with injury.
Mm.
Elias, he did not show up due to family reasons. McMath was not training just because he's injured, but everybody else was going balls to the wall. They were treating this like this is mid season. So pick up practice, everybody was shoving, tackling hard. So I'm like, I like this first day, everybody's going hard. First thing right off the bat, beep test. And I'm like, wow,
Oof.
this is something that you see midsummer. So I'm like, wow, Pablo and his staff are not messing around. So they start small beeps, mid beeps, and then full field beeps. I'm like, wow. And who do you guys think? Just guessing, who do you think was going the fastest?
Who was the fastest?
Ooh. I
Um,
would guess maybe I would want to say Pablo Ruiz,
I'll
but
say
yeah,
Catranis because I was thinking Pablo Ruiz as well.
yeah,
No, it was Dominic.
I could see that too.
Oh, that duh.
Dominic was fast but slowest. I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, but Ojeda was kind of
I
a little
see it. I see it.
Mm.
He's our nice version of Kyle Beckerman. Kyle Beckerman was also a snail.
no, but once scrimmages came about, Pablo and his staff split it up into draft picks or Monarchs players over on one field, and then I guess first team or the guys who are actually going to be getting minutes for RSL on the other field. And you had Forrester over there, and then you had Kobe Henry playing with them, and those new players, they were going hard, just proving to Pablo and his staff that hey, I'm here, I want to get minutes for you guys, and I deserve it.
Interesting. And I liked what you said there, the fact that the new guys are the ones that are playing the hardest because they want to show because that's what we want right now, are
But
players that want to play.
besides Forrester, the player that stood out to me was Sam Junko. I know for a fact that he is going to make a huge impact on our back line. Like you mentioned, he plays that center left back, and he was hustling hard. He was communicating that whole time with Justin Glad back there. So I love that so much. So he is going to be competing with Katanis for I feel like
Mm.
for a starting spot.
This is definitely a beard scratcher. This is getting interesting.
Because Sam's been around in the MLS for a hot minute, so he knows the plot, the style, knows the play. So
You're singing sweet stuff to my ears because
so,
that's what we want to see.
Hmm.
Was I know there were questions asked. I didn't hear the responses about being Chicholess, but let's give it a little space here. Did it seem somber, the atmosphere?
like yes, when the players came out of the weightlifting room, there was a few sadness. I feel like out of all the players, that was the most sad was Zach. Zach McMath with obviously Beavers. Zach was, I guess, the teacher for Beavers, the up and
Mentor.
coming, the
Yeah, mentor.
mentor. Yeah, because Beavers was supposed to be the next big goalkeeper for us, but obviously he's gone. So he had a few tears on his eyes, but other than that,
That must
nobody.
that must be bittersweet for him.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You could see some tears on his eyes. But other than that, nobody. Everybody was going hard, no heads down. They were focused. They're like, this is a brand new season.
I
Players
want
gone.
I have my theories and I'll leave them offline. But I think that there's a breath of fresh air uh, with the team, and I think they're
Hmm.
ready to start anew. And it's needed right now. I think there's honestly I think there was a lot of pressure on the organization and on the team because we had Chicho. Everything was Chicho. Chicho, he's a goal scorer. I
Yeah.
think there's a breath of fresh air to bring in a new wave of energy.
No,
I'm
I
I'm
I, I
I'm starting to feel like Pablo Mastroeni. The energy, I can feel it. It's just, it's just flowing.
there was definitely some good vibes, some good juju all around.
No, man, it does not help that you're blonde.
I
Um,
know. Oh my gosh. No, but let's I'm super glad that that first day of practice everyone seemed focused. Now let's get into what we've heard a little bit. And I guess let's start with McMath because that was one of them that spoke. And he's I'm not quoting. This is a I guess what do you call it? I can't speak right now. Anyways, he said something to this. Gavin has only played 8, 10 games in a row. No, he said he hasn't played 8, 10, 12 games in a row in order to get a good rhythm, and that's where goalkeepers mature. I'm happy for him that he's getting this chance and that he's going to keep growing. So I wonder if Zach didn't think that Gavin's training as a Padawan was complete in terms of he wanted. I think he thought that this was going to be Gavin's breakout year, where Gavin was going to be starting the majority of the games. What do you guys think about either Zach's quote or Gavin moving on?
I sense a little bit of jealousy, honestly, from Zach.
Oh,
Maybe a little bit. He's like, oh, I was hoping for the same thing, to be heading off to Europe or up and coming, but I'm just stuck here. This is my third or
mhm.
fourth MLS team, and I haven't made any progress.
I can see that maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But sure. I mean, Christian, do you have any
I
thoughts?
mean, again, it's got to be a bittersweet thing for him. Obviously, he and Gavin close, and it's hard to watch somebody you've spent so much time with kind of leave like that. Um, and with the whole Gavin move, I think it's a good move for Gavin. I wonder if it wouldn't have been better for the club to make it a loan instead of just a permanent transfer with the option to buy, depending on his performance. Um,
Hmm.
because it could benefit RSL in the long run to have him on loan, then call him back when, you know, two out of the three goalkeepers we have on the roster get too old to play. Um, uh, and especially, I think I don't think the league he's going to is better. I
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
But what it does is it puts him up in a better spot to be picked up by better leagues, um, depending on how he performs out there. I'll admit, I'm curious to watch the Danish league now just for Gavin Beavers.
Well, and I think if
I
I'm
agree.
not mistaken, Bromby has gone through Champions League or
Hmm.
Conference League qualification, so they play against other teams in Europe, so there is experience to be had there.
And if you guys
Yeah.
didn't forget, and don't forget, Blitzer does own Bromby. So
Th-
It's part of the Blitzer group.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, and so is Crystal Palace, and so is Botafogo and all them.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah, there's experience to be had in Europe. That's for sure. Um, let's switch to another player. They talked to Justin Glad, a little bit. They asked him about Chicho leaving, and then they asked him about what what a, what does the rest of the season look like. Um, your guys' thoughts possibly what Justin Glad said if you guys heard it. Did you guys hear it, or am I the only one?
I did not. I only saw um
Okay,
the sales
then
the sale uh
Kurt.
the part with Pablo and Kurt.
Yeah. Well, then let's go straight there then, because Pablo and Kurt, that left a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's dive into first what Kurt said about players coming in and the style of play that RSL is looking at. So Kurt was asked if the players that were coming in are going to affect the philosophy of the team. Um, that's when he went into the quote that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, where we win through development. What do you guys think of that phrase? Being lifelong fans, um, do we want a team that just wins through development, or do we want winning teams that are bought, or do we want a winning team that? I mean, what kind of winning team do we want?
Obviously, I want to see players that want to be here, that want to stay here for life. Justin Glad, Anelli, players like that. Um, but obviously, like I see that this is a business, selling players and all that. But I don't know. It's a tough world that we live in right now. So, but it just shows that those players that develop have that good academy.
Yeah, Christian, what do you think of that phrase?
I want more results, if that's our philosophy.
I
I
guess what
mean, not to discount it all. I definitely see and believe we have the best academy in Major League Soccer. Easily. I'm sorry, David Beckham. You're pumping a lot of money into that Miami Academy, which is a great academy. It's still not up to the caliber of ourselves yet. It's getting there, but it's not there yet. That being said, if we're going to say we're winning through development, we need winning results. We need I mean, the last cup we won was the year I graduated from high school.
bro. Bro, you're old.
I'm old. We need, I would, and so that's why I said when we were talking about a couple episodes ago, what do you want from RSL this upcoming season? I want podium. You get on the podium, that's a result. Whether or not you take home the trophy, you're on the podium. You were in the game. You're running for the title. If you can say, "Hey, we went through development. Take a look." And this year we won MLS Cup, and this year we won the U.S. Open Cup, and this year we won both the Supporter Shield and the Open Cup, and this year we won CONCACAF Champions Cup. And you just have this pedigree of saying, yeah, we may not win the title every single year, but look at our development. Look at these players that we've sent off to Europe that have gone on and won the Champions League or won this domestic league or performed well in the World Cup. You say you win by development, you need to have the receipts for it.
And so I guess that for me, winning, the word win again, I guess would be um it could be interpreted in different ways. What does win mean? Win through development, winning trophies, winning games. I mean, if we're going to be developing, for me, win through development means there's progression throughout the years, I should say. And right now, I'm not seeing that progression throughout the years. I just see us being consistently mid, upper mid table, which that's fine if you want to just get a consistent fan base that loves their team, but we want to compete for trophies. This year is finally our first chance in 8 years to compete in CONCACAF. I mean, what are we doing to compete in CONCACAF? I mean, the players that we're bringing in, just like the video we put out today, eh,
Mm,
eh.
eh,
I mean,
eh.
will that help us fight for CONCACAF? Possibly. They might bring fire, but
They might surprise a lot of people. Like,
I hope they do.
yeah, a lot of head scratching and a lot of head. But with RSL's development, we brought on four players that played for the Monarchs, just signed with the first team. Are they going to be Are they being huge factors for us? No. Are they going to get playing time? No. But it just shows that RSL is developing. Um, but it just doesn't need to be there. It needs to be more.
And granted, I may be taking a couple steps back though. I love development.
Mhm.
I would love for more academy players to get more first team minutes. I would love for Owen Anderson to step in as a substitute, give him 15, 20 minutes a game. I would love for Jude Wellings to also get some minutes behind Ojeda or Anelli. Like,
Like I want this to be the year that Gozo finally gets a
yes,
bunch of playing time.
Gozo
Yeah.
has a lot of potential, and
Yeah.
we see it when he plays for a U20 national team.
Hmm.
Well, now he's going to be playing U20. Before he's
Yeah.
U17. There it's there. We're just not using it, and I wonder if how much of the win through development they actually believe in. Is it win through developing by buying young players and developing them, or are we developing through our academy?
I think we need to look at the Barcelona model. We really do. If we, that is that model and Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Both teams are both sorry, not teams, both clubs are fantastic examples of how you can balance both developing players from the bottom up, Lionel Messi, um,
Well, heck, that whole generation.
Marco Royce, Robert Lewandowski, Xavi, Iniesta. You take a look at all of those that came from the bottom up.
Yeah, PK Fabregas. I mean, that whole generation.
But look who's
That
coming up now through Barcelona's ranks. You've got,
Lamine
I'll give you two.
Yamal
So from the academy, Yamin Yamal, and then a player that they bought to develop that's doing very well, Gavi.
and Gavi.
Gavi.
Yep, Gavi.
Hmm.
That's a good balance of
Well,
both.
And
And Pedri.
And
Pedri.
Pedri too, yeah.
So those are great models that I would love to follow. And I think I feel like we're missing the mark a lot of the time. There's academy products that have the talent that we're not giving them the opportunity to jump from Monarchs or from academy up to first team. It's very few and far between. I know, and from our experience, Pablo doesn't use a lot of academy players.
It's sad because we don't really see that across the board across the MLS. Um, but I know for a fact that that's going to change because Jason is a strong. He loves young players. He loves the academy. So I feel like same with Kurt. Both those love the young players, love the academy. So I think in less than 5 years, I really hope that we're going to see that slow development.
Well, and I guess let's transition. I think it's a good transition into young talent getting developed. Let's talk about this national team with Luna and Emeka
Um,
and Nelly getting called up. So Emeka doing the non-traditional soccer way, but the traditional American way through college, and then
mhm,
Luna doing it through the traditional soccer way through academies. Um,
correct.
both of them are now in the same spot.
Hmm.
We're not going to argue which path is better. That's not the reason for this. But the reason for this is that they are getting a chance to show that they can play at the next level. Now,
Hmm.
let's talk about the game. US versus Venezuela. We know that this is the US's, it's the January team. It's everyone to try to,
This is the C team.
the C team. Everyone's trying to prove their worth right now.
Correct.
Um, And I bet you Venezuela's going to bring out their BC team as well. We're not going to see a Savarino. You're not going to see a Rondon. You're not going to
Oh,
see
dang it.
what's his Barney Rubble's face? What's his name? You guys know who I'm talking about, right?
I do know who you're talking about.
He looks like Barney Rubble.
He does.
Anyways, we're not going to see that team. So what kind of likelihood? I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I know who else is on the list for the U.S. national team. But do you expect both Luna and Emeka to get minutes this first game?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I I strongly believe so.
Let me pull up the roster of who's on this camp. I could tell you who's
I mean,
likely
I
to.
mean
It,
So,
when it first came out, there was only four midfielders.
oh, this is
Wrong list. Wrong US team. You
Let
pulled
me
up the
pull up US. Okay, this is a better list. All right, so starting in goal, especially with the departure of Drake Callender from the camp,
Mhm.
um, I see Patrick Schulte in goal to start.
Yeah, most likely.
Back line, I'm gonna Shaq Moore, Tim Ream, Miles Robinson, and Walker Zimmerman on the back line. Midfielders, they'll play three midfielders, so it's likely to be McGlynn, Luna, and Kremeshi, with Emeka coming in as a substitute. But that they did say that Luna had taken a knock, so you could swap Luna and Anelli. And then on the front, what that so three up front, Ferreira in the middle, and then Brian White and Caden Clark on the wings.
not bad.
Yeah,
Thank you.
not terrible at all. Not terrible. Um, but
Mauricio,
yeah,
I'm available if you want to hire me.
So my question to you then is, um, obviously this is gonna be like maybe random, but do you see, for instance, let's go with Anelli's position. How many people do you see that he is above, or how many do you see that are above him
are you talking for
on
Saturday?
yeah,
Just
For
just
Saturday?
just based off of international experience alone, he's on the bottom of the totem pole. That is it. Skill wise, I would put him I would put him third. I'd put Diego Luna up top, followed by Jack McGlynn and Meccanelli, then Benjamin Kremeshki.
I like that. I mean, I accept it.
Yeah. Obviously, if Luna does have a knock, if he's not 100%, then don't have him start. But it seems like a no-brainer to not have Luna start in this kind of game.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think there's much more to talk about in this one besides we want them to see minutes, and it's gonna like a broken record. They deserve the minutes. Um, Emeka, I think, being his first camp and his first opportunity, he wasn't even a part of any youth national teams. That's what's great about Emeka is that because he was outstanding in last season, he now gets this chance. And literally, it was just one season. That's for me, that's crazy.
Not gonna lie, if he starts or when he gets subbed on Saturday, referring to Emeka, I'm gonna get chills. I am gonna get chills seeing him come on, seeing that journey that he went through, going through college, getting drafted. So that's fantastic for him.
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally agree. So here's where we're gonna go now. Um, First off, let mention Saturday is the game at 1 Mountain Standard. Tune in. You might see a Mecca. You might see Luna. Just cross your fingers and hope we see them both. Maybe at the same time. That'd be great. That'd be great. But let's get into your guys' questions because I know we're running out of time and there's a lot of questions and good ones. We're gonna have some good discussion. So, Marcos, I'm gonna let you have this. Take the
Thank you.
floor.
Thank you very much. So, first question, with all the trades recently, who do you think will be next? Glad, Brody, Luna, or Vera? And why?
In terms of leaving,
Correct.
say the names again.
Glad, Brody, Luna, or Vera?
Leaving, leaving Luna. In terms of like leaving the team to be traded, Luna. I mean,
Y-
hands down.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most obvious one because he's developing. She's shown that he needs to be sent off to Europe.
I don't know, Christian, did I take the words out of your mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Next one.
Next question. So much negativity going into this season. Is there a hope for us to riot?
I'll let you take that one, Christian.
Is there a hope to write? I like that. Um, yeah, of course. Now, are we going to be dominant like we were last season? Jury's out on that. I don't know. I can't give you a for sure yes. I very much can't give you a for sure yes, but honestly, without seeing this team on the field, I can't give you a for sure no.
Hmm. I'm gonna maybe take a part of that question, the negativity part. So much negativity. I think, I think the RSL base, and I'll say the RSL base, even though this might be a general soccer thing. We have attachment issues where we like get super attached to players instead of super
Putting
attached to the club.
putting names on jerseys.
Yeah, putting names on jerseys, guys. This is a full. Um, don't put players' names on jerseys unless you like the player. Period. Unless you're gonna follow them throughout their whole career, don't. That's why I only have Messi jerseys. That's all I
Just
have.
under just understand players are going to get traded. They're going to move. So if you put a name on a jersey, don't get so upset. But is there a hope for us to riot? Possibly.
Always. There's
Yeah, I was going
always
to
there's always a hope to riot. Every game you should be rioting. I mean,
say
it's like what we said last special episode. So, next question.
we kind of already answered this next question, but with Beavers gone soon, who do you think will be one, two, three goalkeepers?
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we already answered. I think Mason it might be first, but if Rafael is a for sure sign because it's not confirmed, I think he's gonna be number one.
Agreed, agreed. And then once McMath is back healthy, he's going to be g- trying to fight for his job
Hmm.
for number one.
Yeah.
Next question: do you think Justin Glad will captain the team again, or will it be someone else?
This is a good one. Not gonna
That's
lie,
a phenomenal question.
because Glad was co-captain.
So I guess real quick, when I was at training on Monday, I asked Glad this question, and he was kind of thrown off. He's like, "I'm going to be captain this season? I didn't know that." So if
Either
I had to,
playing dumb or I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be Glad, but if I had to choose somebody else to be captain, I'm going to have to go with Anelli.
I would choose Anelli too because I think it's most likely he's gonna stay throughout the whole season. I wouldn't give
Mhm.
it to Luna because there's a risk of him leaving mid-season.
Agreed.
But if we were to choose anyone else, um, I would choose Catranis.
I mm,
Mm.
No,
Look,
no.
if we handled Beckerman, the hothead that he is, and he got a bunch of yellow cards for yelling at referees stupid things, why not?
but he has a natural leadership that Catranes hasn't shown us yet.
Hmm?
My sleeper pick for captain, provided he stays healthy, is Pablo Ruiz.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
that's a good selection as well. So next question for you: who has been the hardest person to see go?
Meh. For me, this is a quick answer. I don't get attached to players. So, uh, which one has surprised me? Chicho's leave was surprising, the biggest surprise, followed by Crooks. I think if I were to be sad by one that left this offseason, it'd be Crooks.
I think overall, if we're going historically through RSL, there's only one player for me,
Javi.
Javier Morales.
Yeah.
Actually, ooh, I've got with two honorable mentions,
Okay.
Nat Borchers
Okay.
and Ned Grabavoy.
Okay. I didn't feel Ned Grabavoy's as much.
He I think we felt him more than we realized. Felt his absence more than we realized.
Hmm. Okay.
If we're going off of this off season, I guess, and some of last season, I'm gonna go with Gomez. That one was a hard one to
Ah,
see him leave. And then I'm gonna go with Gavin. Seeing a young, developed goalkeeper leave, that one was a knock to the chest. So on to the next question: is RSL a deeper team than last season?
um, that's a hard one to answer. Um, Deeper in terms of depth. the big D that we talked about. Um, I think they have depth, but if we're talking about deeper, I think yeah, depth wise, we're deep right now. But if we're deep in talent, that's yet to be seen because we haven't seen a bunch of these players play.
Yeah, obviously it's very hard to base this because we haven't really seen any of them play. But in regards to depth, we're deeper on defense than we were last season for sure. So that's a plus.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think it's just going to be across the board. We haven't seen many people play, and so it's hard to tell if we're going to be a deeper team. I'll tell you after maybe the first month. After the first month, I'll tell you if we're deeper than last season. But right now, it's hard to tell.
Perfect. Next question. Who do you think will be a surprise standout player this upcoming season?
Surprise.
Hmm.
I don't like the word surprise here, but who do I think is going to be a standout player? I think it's going to be Dominic. I don't know, Christian. What do you think?
Hmm.
There's a
Well,
lot of players.
there's a lot of players.
Like there's a lot in the supposed starting lineup that all of us are thinking about that are potential standout.
Honestly, I hope Giogo comes out roaring on all cylinders this season.
Supposedly he has a really good aura about him, according to Pablo. So he must be like his inner Holland is like
Oh no, don't wish the Holland juju on him. He's a
I'm just talking about a celebration.
yeah.
This one's kind of tricky for me. I have a few, but one that I think is going to stand out because he had the whole off season to work out and get better is Pablo Ruiz. I think
Oh yeah.
I think he's going to have a huge breakout, being that leader, that catalyst for this squad. It's not going to be off of goals. It might be off of assists.
Heck, even just possessing in the midfield. That's what we need.
Hmm. Because I think that's one thing that we did miss this last season, is a true playmaker. We had people who were trying to pick up the pieces of that, but nobody who really dominated and controlled the midfield and created opportunities and plays.
Yeah. I would have loved to see Pablo Ruiz with the combination of players that we had last season.
I think Pablo Ruiz would have enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Let's see here. With these new sightings, what do you think our CONCACAF Champions Cup chances are?
That is a really good question. Christian, what do you think?
Ugh, I think I can answer that question after our first game in Costa Rica. Um, Honestly, because here's the problem. We've got a new team that has potential to do really, really well. That's untested. Now, if we beat
Alajuelense.
Alajuelense and move on to the next round, we move on to an LA Galaxy team that,
Also,
well,
it's not Alajuelense, it's Herediano.
oh,
There you go.
Herediano, excuse me, I'm
It's
sorry.
it's
Thank you for the correction. But regardless, if we move on to a Galaxy team that's not necessarily better, but may have better team chemistry.
well,
And team chemistry does a lot.
yeah, because they're losing. Well, they lost Puig at least for the
Mhm.
first half of the season, at least.
Correct.
I think Joveljic is on his way out too.
Hmm.
So those are two major points right there. Um, but again, we have to get past Herediano and going back to the question. I think I think we can overcome. I think because of the combination, I think this might work in our favor just slightly. The fact that we're going slightly away now from Hispanic playmaking offensively to
To
probably is going to be more direct.
more European.
Yeah, because so Diogo, even though he's Portuguese, we're gonna call him European. It's probably more direct play. Dominic, Forrester is probably more direct, and that's just my thoughts. I think Forrester's going to be starting. Diego loves to be direct and go straight at people, cut in, and so I think that's going to help us play better against Herediano, who probably might do possession, and who might, if
Do you
not
call rolling
possession.
around on the ground possession?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If not possession, they're gonna be foul based, and they're just gonna foul us a lot, and it's gonna. I think we're gonna
You
overcome.
know, you know, there's one of their top strategies is going to be to try to piss off Vera. You
Oh, 100,
know that's on their list. They're like,
100,
hey, this guy's a
100%.
hothead.
So what about this? I mean, we're gonna preview this right now. What if Vera doesn't play CONCACAF because of that, and we put in Sam, or we put in Kobe?
Then our depth comes into play.
So
I wouldn't be totally opposed to that. Obviously, we'll get more. We'll talk more as it gets closer, but we you can switch those out in interplays. Um, but I feel like with preseason starting next week, we will get a better idea of the lineups, the formation, all of that. But Herediano, they just started their season, I believe, last week, and they're already at 4 points, 2 games into the season. So that's something to keep an eye on. And they play Alajuelense this Saturday.
again,
So
for like the
again,
fifth time in like 2 months.
so that's a big game. So 4 points already in 2 games. So I don't know. I something that we got to stay tuned. Stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Next question. Who do you think we're making why do you think we're making so many transfers that are upsetting fans?
Well,
Well,
here's the
yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
I,
No, go ahead.
I, I'm just going to say something that I saw online. I absolutely agree with. One of the dangers of having a great season is that you become a great target for people to take your good players.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. I mean, obviously, there's other things like the Chicho thing that happened, which, again, we see a lot of unfounded rumors online. You know, whether or not your internal contacts know what happened doesn't matter anymore at this point. It doesn't.
I mean, Kurt's word was Chicho wanted a fresh start, and that's it. Boom. So, um, oh my gosh, I already forgot the question. What was the question again?
Why do you think we're making so many
Oh,
transfers that are upsetting fans?
well, here's the thing. Being upset as a fan, that's a choice. As as my dad would always say, being upset is a choice. So if you're really pissed off about these players leaving, I mean, come on, were you really a fan of the player? I think going back to what I said last episode was, I think fans are upset because their hopes and dreams of a cup or a podium fell through because that's why we got all these players was for that, and it didn't happen. I think that's the upset.
And I think just to go off of yours, I think we just need to trust the process. Just understand that this is a business, but
Ugh,
just
I,
don't
I
get
don't I don't think people will like that phrase.
They don't like it. As soon as you sound like, ooh,
uh,
say, we're gonna get some comments like,
We
I like the RSL bros, but then they said the phrase, trust
trust
the
the
process.
process.
And then uh Pablo Mastroeni's gonna hear and be like, these guys are the best.
These guys are the best. These guys have a great aura. No, but I think people are. I get what you're saying, Marcus. I trust the process
Mhm.
because I trust the club, but people are tired of hearing trust the process because
no, yeah.
there's no result at the end of trusting the process, it seems like. Sorry to bog you down. I didn't mean to correct you like that, Marcus, I promise.
Next question. What would be the scenes if Neymar came to RSL?
Oh, what? What would be the scenes? I think all of Brazil would come out of
From
everywhere.
the Brazilians would come from out from hiding. They'd be
Uh,
like, "Oh,
Like
RSL,
we
I've been a fan of them from the beginning."
Yeah, like I don't think we've had very many Brazilians come through RSL. And so
It would
it's
be
not
interesting to see a Brazilian if they would fit in with our playstyle. I don't think they would, but it'd be interesting.
I don't think so either. In fact, I, obviously people would fangirl about having Neymar. Who wouldn't? I mean, it's Neymar. But in terms of having him as a player, having him as a meshing with the chemistry, I don't think so.
It would bring too much drama, uh, too big of an ego. Wouldn't want to see it.
I think
Don't
we
like
are
it.
the hot take. I think we already had too much of that with Chicho. I think we need to lay low again.
Yeah. So if he does come to MLS, best of luck, Chicago, dealing with that. Uh,
Yeah.
We say that and watch him actually end up with us.
oh, can you imagine Neymar and Berhalter on the same team? Oh boy, that's gonna
I
be
I
something.
don't I don't think that's gonna
No,
end well.
it's already unfounded. So Berhalter did not go to Saudi Arabia, by the way. Tom Bogart already said that those were unfounded. In fact, Greg Berhalter's probably sitting on his chair, is like, "Hey, they say I'm in Saudi Arabia. This is great."
Wait, I'm in Saudi Arabia, honey.
Here we go. Last question for you guys. What's your projected starting 11 for the Champions Cup?
Oh, Champions Cup. All right, let's go. Let's go back line. Assuming everyone is healthy, that we haven't said it has been injured. So for me, it's going to be Mason. It's going to be Catranis. I'll stick with Vera, Glad, Javane. We'll do the same old Ojeda, Inelli, Luna, Diogo, Dominic, Forster.
Um, I agree with you. The only change I would do is Elias instead of Forster.
All right, Christian, what would you do?
Ooh, I mean, going back to what we were talking about earlier, I wouldn't start Vera. I would start Junkwa instead. Um, and then
Or do you start Kobe?
no, I wouldn't start Kobe.
Okay.
Not yet. I would start Junkwa first, and then I agree with Marcos for the rest.
Okay. Um, this has been going through my head, and this is going to be a total dad joke probably. But if Kobe does play this season and he scores a goal, can we all just turn around and go, Kobe?
Too soon.
Really? Too soon? Come on. You guys are all thinking it when we signed him. Everyone was like,
I actually
Kobe?
did not.
Oh, come
I
on.
did not either. No.
Come on, guys.
Out
All
of all
right.
people, it's kind of funny that you thought of that.
I mean, yeah, because I'm not like a huge basketball guy either, but I respect him so much so that yell his name. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that's a wrap, guys. That was one heck of a show. There's a lot of stuff we could have gotten into.
That was an interesting episode.
I mean, yes, sure. We'll call it an interesting one. Maybe we'll do a better one next time. Maybe. Actually, next time we'll probably have a post game
Mm.
of US both games, right? Don't they play no, they play Wednesday or Thursday.
And then
Anyways,
we'll have the preview of RSL's first preseason game. RSL's first preseason game is next week. It's on the 23rd.
that's not
Ooh.
next week. That's like, oh yeah, it is next
Yeah,
week.
it is next week. It's a
It is
week from
next week.
today.
A
Oh my
week from
gosh.
today.
I feel like I'm a week behind. But okay, week
So
from today,
RSL's first preseason game is against NYCFC in Santa Barbara.
if it's not on fire. That was too soon. Anyways, uh let's um let's wrap this up. We appreciate all your guys' questions. We really do. It brings another dynamic to this conversation, but there's a lot to go over still. We still have how many weeks? Like 5 weeks left of
We
preseason
are
until.
from the time that we are recording this episode on January 16th, we are 34 days from our first game in Costa Rica.
Woo!
And how many days since Chicho's last goal?
Fine, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I was waiting on you. I think we're at like 190,
We're close to 190.
if not
And
like
may it continue. Now,
may it now continue forever. Guys, appreciate all you guys listening. Keeping tabs with us because we're just gonna keep talking soccer, talk our opinions. Christian, any last second thoughts about this weird episode?
No, appreciate y'all listening in and interacting with us online, in the various forums that we're in. Yeah, continue to do so.
Cool, cool. Marco, send us off.
If you guys are not already, head over to X or Instagram and follow us there at the RSL Bros. Listen to us at Spotify or Apple, and watch us on YouTube as well.
I should just like record you one day and just like play you at the end of every episode. Guys, appreciate it. Talk to you next time.
Take care, guys.
Bye.